Hey everyone, good morning. My name is Lisa and I'm the membership manager at the Utah Safety Council. Quickly before we do our start with safety, I wanted to jump in. Cameron's going to start us off here, but I wanted to jump in first and just say thank you for joining us. This is our 14th, I think, start with safety. So we've been doing it for a little over a year, and we are just excited to keep doing it and just make it better and better all the time. So one of the things that we want to do this time is have a little bit of engagement and hear back from everyone. So during the presentation, just kind of watch the presentation, pay attention, and then at the end, we're going to kind of do it old school, but I'm going to just ask a question, and everyone that emails me the answer is going to get a prize. So I've got some cool prizes. I've got like a t-shirt, yay, Safety Council t-shirt. Lovely. Oh, and then I've got a nice stainless steel tumbler still in its back package. And then I have a gift card as well. Well, this one's actually mine, but I have another one for a lucky winner. But everybody that participates and answers a question at the end by sending an email will get some type of a prize. So we just wanted to say thanks. And sometimes it's fun to talk to everybody, but we don't ever hear anything back. So we'd love to hear from you. So please stay tuned and make sure you pay attention so that you can answer the question. It won't be hard. But yeah, we look forward to that. And I will just give it to Cameron to go ahead and get us started. Thanks.
Thank you, Lisa. Well, hey, welcome in everyone. As everybody knows, this is the Utah Safety Council Start with Safety. This is a relatively new program that we're trying to do here. If you've worked with Utah Safety Council before, you understand that our mission here is really just trying to save lives through education, tools, and resources. And this is just another way we thought, hey, let's try to do this while we're doing, while we're not as able to do as much in person. Let's figure out how to share resources and share information any way that we can. So today we actually have an interesting one. The title might have been a little bit confusing for some, trying to figure out how hearing and teen driving really correlate. But this month there's always a lot of things going on with driving and things like that. But in the same chord, we do understand that a lot of people attending these are going to be safety professionals or people working here with Utah Safety Council. So we want to be able to provide some information that might assist you in any way with that mission that you have as well. So really, without saying too much further here, I'm going to introduce our topic here. We're talking about hearing loss prevention, exposure, things like that, that kind of come in with hearing protection. So I thought one person that would be pretty good for that. I've heard a lot about ears in my life because my dad's actually an audiologist here. So my dad's going to be doing this presentation, Carl Clark. He's an audiologist here in Montana, actually. So he is coming virtually over to Utah for us for a minute. He's originally from Utah, so he's okay coming here for a little while virtually. But I'm going to let you just take over, Carl, and we'll go from there.
Thanks. I appreciate this invitation. Thanks, Cam.
We're having trouble hearing you.
Am I muted? How about now? Can you hear me now?
Okay, you're good.
Okay, I'm back on. It takes a little while to come down from Montana. Just so you know, I'm grateful to be here with you and wish you could be here and see the beautiful sky we have. And I'm just a little south of Glacier National Park to give you an idea where I'm at. Beautiful day. Grateful for Lisa to offer some of those little prizes. I think that's an awesome opportunity. So if anybody's up here, I'll give you a free hearing test if you really are listening to this presentation today. I guess in starting off with, I wondered, when I read, as Cameron mentioned, that the topics today were on hearing conservation and the other one on teen driving. They're probably a lot more similar than think, because once a teenager gets behind the wheels, he's not going to listen to you anyway. So I think it's the same thing when we talk about hearing and hearing conservation. To start off with, we have a little different process up here because our safety managers, they have a little different air about them. So here's a picture of one of our safety managers just to keep you appraised. I hope you appreciate that how significant that is. That's a little bit of a bison attitude, but basically it's just saying they would kind of keep an eye on you and don't step out of place. I've been an audiologist here for probably almost 38 years. And so I do different things. I do testing for the schools. I work with little hearing impaired kids. I also do industrial testing and industrial consultations at times. And we have up here our main industries were the lumber industry or just shops that were manufacturing different products. And so that's kind of a little background that I have relative to the program that you're looking at when you look for what OSHA would require of you relative to hearing conservation program. Sometimes we wonder why in the world do you need a hearing conservation program? I remember there's a little story it told about there's a rural road. The state trooper pulled over this farmer and said, "Hey, sir, do you realize your wife fell out of the car several miles back?" To which the farmer replied, "Thank goodness, I thought I had gone deaf." Well, I guess what I would tell you is hearing is pretty important. In fact, this is probably sponsored more by wives than by significant others, because unfortunately, if you have a hearing loss that's induced by work, then that's usually the problem. The issue with that is you're not hearing as clear as you need to. And so that's why we have a hearing conservation program. It's amazing for me as I get that opportunity working with the industries. I also worked on the east side of the mountains when they had the oil rigs and the oil workers. And I'll never forget, I had probably about 14 of them come into my office over there at one time, and they're just lined up and we're testing them. A lot of them were just young bucks, not very old at all, just starting out in the career. And I had a couple of the older ones. And the first couple of older ones that came in were just really hearing impaired. It was kind of hard to even talk to them because they were had such a hearing loss from the exposure. This guy comes in that was probably in his 50s, walks in, and I test his hearing. And I go, "Oh, you must be way up in management or something," because I said, "Your hearing's perfect." And I said, "What have you done?" He says, No, I'm right on the rig the whole time." He said, "When I was younger, I noticed that it was really painful for me to be around the rigs." And so he thought, "I didn't think I could do this." But then I found somebody had a couple of cigarette butts laying on the ground. So I picked them up and stuffed them in my ear. He says, "Fortunately, since that time, I can put other things in my ear to protect it." But his hearing was totally normal. So a nice little training I had at that moment as I came out, because I was testing the younger guys that were just started and only been at it a year, that are already showing a loss in their high frequencies. And when we talk about that, that's where they don't get the clarity of sound. And so I said, well, give him a little presentation. So he talked to him about using ear protection. It was really easy because some of the older ones that were there that couldn't hear, the young guys kind of went, "Well, I don't want to be like Joe because he can't hear anything we said. And yet this guy always can hear." So when we look at that, the process behind it, I guess the little mark behind that is just that you're saying, how do we help people preserve their hearing? Just a quick little one that I'll show you real quick. I just took a little ear piece here and just kind of showed that when we think about the ear, the amazing thing is the sound comes in the ear, goes down the ear canal, hits the middle ear, and then it goes into the little bones in the middle ear, and then it goes into what we call this cochlea right here. This little part up here, this little snail-shaped thing. At the beginning of it, right at the beginning, is where high frequencies are. High frequencies are the sounds that give us clarity to sound, like the S, the T's, the V's that help us get clarity of speech. The low tones are way up at the top. So we still hear, but we just don't hear clarity. So the purpose of the hearing conservation program is basically to say, how do we protect and make wives and significant others happier, because now they can communicate with those that are around. So when we talk about that, I guess just that was a quick little anatomy lesson for you to kind of to figure out what you're doing. Amazingly today, it's so easy to go online and find out some opportunities or some directions if you're thinking of doing a hearing conservation program. I guess just a little basic thing that I'll share with you really quick. And I'll see if I can do this. It says to share a screen, so I'm going to try sharing the screen real quick. There it is. There's the screen I'm going to share with you. Hopefully it's there. Did it come up? I hope it did. It's
Yep, you are good to go. It looks great.
Yeah, this is a miracle. You have to realize I'm Cameron's dad, and so that means I'm a lot older than he is. So this technology escapes me. This is a little one when it talks about occupational noise exposure, some key provisions from OSHA on noise standards. I love the little chart because it kind of talks about simple little things. And at the very bottom of it talks about safe and loudness. When we look at that bottom line, it talks about 0 dB up to like 140 dB. 0 dB is really quiet. Our normal conversations probably 50 to 60. With OSHA, the guidelines come is when you get up between 80 to 90, it's actually it's 90, but at 85 dB, you have to start to add some type of program for protection. I guess the first thing I would tell you about that is easy. You used to have somebody come in and do a sound level meter, a dosimeter, so they could measure how loud equipment was and get some ideas of it. I remember doing that in my early days, having a little meter, and I'd have to take it in and set it up for like 8 hours for somebody's production to see how long they were exposed to loud sounds and how much time they had to have breaks with it. Since that time, the nice thing is you can download something on your cell phone and go ahead and take a sound level measurement. If you're wondering if your employees are at that level, just get an idea. And it's kind of like a screening type of thing at first, because you're not really doing an assessment of it. If you need to do assessment, that's a whole nother ball game. Sorry, my phone just rang. So you can do the little assessment with that. If you get an idea, if you're looking at somebody and go, boy, this machine is running all day long, or this is a well we're by, or something else, you go, boy, it's really loud. It's more than 85, more than 90 dB. Then you want to say, we do need to look at getting a hearing conservation program going. What you're doing is just protecting their ears, and there's different ways to do that. First of all, you have to assess and say, what is the cost? This little chart gives you an idea of that. If you're between 80 and 90 dB, hopefully what's going to happen is that you're going to say, we need to do something about that. Sorry, my telephone is right here next to me. So we'll end up talking here. Okay. So along that line, if you assess and you say, we do have to have something over 85 dB, the next step you look at is there's three kind of factors when you have to look at hearing conservation program. First one is the noise. Are you exposed over 85 dB or 90 dB? If there's that exposure, then you've got to look at the second factor is how long are they exposed to that? Because if they're exposed to a certain time, if it's 85, 90 to 85, they can be exposed for an 8-hour shift. And all you have to, at that time, they recommend they wear ear protection, but that's the time is an element. The third thing that's the requirement is distance. Now you might come up to a machine, and I remember doing that on several of the evaluations I did. I'd set the equipment up, and then as I sat back and watched what happened, I looked and thought, oh, that employee isn't at that position for even longer than 2 hours at a time. And then they move to another someplace else that has less exposure. So you have to evaluate those type of things. Those three factors would be time, how loud the sound is, the sound level, and the distance. If you look at those things, then you're going to say, wow, okay, do we need to have a program, or what do we do from at that point? So the first thing you look at is what are the implications of those type of things? What kind of controls can you have? Sometimes, and once again, you can look at that on if you're having a program, if those three factors, any of those can mitigate a little bit what you're doing with their exposure. So if somebody's sitting in a chair and that chair is next to like up here, it could be next to the green chain or something, and the noise is just really coming loud next to them, then you can watch and say, how long do they have to be there? What can we do to make changes? If we put on ear protection, what is the level of the ear protection? What does it do? Does it bring that down far enough? If it doesn't, then you say, can they move away from that? So always those three factors are keys in planning out an occupational noise program to say, do we need one? At that level, then you can decide what's going on. Like I said, it's a longer period of time, it's worse. So you may have a place where there's only 8 hours. You may have a place that works 10-hour shifts or 12-hour shifts. Then you have to look and say what happens on that. Now, just a couple of ideas that you would know as if you're doing a management, is sometimes it's just even asking people, you know, what's happening. Typically, if you have noise exposure, what'll happen to it, if you've ever gone to a rock concert, if you've gone to some place that's really loud, you've been doing a lawnmower or something else, doing some tile work, and you go, wow, my ears, as soon as I'm done with that, I'm getting a little ringing. That's a really significant indicator that you've had too much noise exposure. So typically on that is it's saying, what do we do in order to protect our individuals from that type of noise exposure? Basically, the next thing you look at is if they are exposed, you can factor any of those things again. Either you move them out of that position, say, what can we do to move them a little further away? Second thing is, what do we do for because you're not going to lessen the noise, how long can they be in that occupation? The third thing is now to look and say, are there ways to protect their ears? And yes, there are. There's simple little ear plugs. Most companies have boxes of those ear plugs that they can screw into their ears. An issue you might find is that, okay, how do we protect them with that? That is the side on that protection. The other part of the evaluation is to look and say, okay, what do I do when I think about protection? Let me go to this other website. And I'm going to get out of this little screen share now. If you have any questions on that screen share thing, let me know, because it's like I said, it just kind of gives you an idea of what things are really loud. And you look at the 80 to 90 and anything above, I'm sure most of you aren't going to be, your employees aren't exposed to helicopter noise, but it's kind of funny how loud some of those sounds are. Okay, so let me stop sharing that. Okay. So the next thing that you look at is you go, how now do we assess whether somebody's going to have exposure to noise? Once you know that, the other part of your hearing conservation program would be to say, now what we need to do is the program would say the next thing you do is noise monitoring first. Second is your administrative policies, enforcements of that. Just as I said, that as safety managers, you have to look and go, what do we need to do in order to protect our employees? The third thing is now you have to evaluate whether it is affecting your employees' hearing. That's called audiometric evaluations. If you're knowing you've got a program where it's exposure to the noise, the requirement for OSHA is that you provide to your employees, it's not mandated that they do it unless something's changed recently, you provide to them that opportunity on an annual basis to be evaluated with their hearing. The first test should be done hopefully prior to noise exposure. And the second one can be done at any time, because it's just looking to say, are they decreasing their hearing? You would have somebody that would manage that. Once that's done, maintain those records. Audiologically, from my point, there's a computer program where we just send it in. There's notification letters that whoever provides that service for you typically would provide notification letters to your employees that tells them that they've had their hearing tested, that they've had any change in hearing and what that can mean to them. And if they have to follow up, if there's a shift in hearing, then it's a requirement that they be seen and tested for further testing. So that gives you a little ballpark on just that type. The next thing would be offering hearing protection. They have the option to use it or not. And then the last thing, a couple last things, is your record keeping and your tracking to make sure that that program is ongoing. And then if you do the hearing conservation program with the test, are they seeing a change in hearing? And if they are shifting, is it due to what they're doing at the job, or are they doing it at home? If somebody's a really avid shooter and they're going out target practicing without wearing ear protection, then that's not the responsibility for yours. And so it's kind of some of those history things. And the last thing is just evaluating the program, saying, is this program working the way we'd like it to work? Is it meeting our needs that we have? So in general, I guess what I tell you is that's an overview of a hearing conservation program. When I look at the programs that I've worked with here in the state of Montana with my logging and some other private companies that were doing construction type of work or working on cabinetry, the basic process would I would come in and do hearing evaluations, get a quiet place to do that evaluation. I fill out the results. I talk to the individuals a little bit, send notifications, and then let those that are managing the program know what their changes are, if there's anything they need to do differently. So the goal is that hopefully your employees are happy, they hear. If they're complaining of not hearing as well, then you want to look at some of those factors. That's kind of everything in a nutshell. I'm trying to think if there's anything else on a hearing conservation program that I would tell you. Nothing that much different. Any questions that anybody has?
If you do have any questions, just make sure, I forgot to mention at the beginning, if you do have any questions or anything, feel free to put those in the Q&A section just at the bottom of your screen. If you get those in later after Carl's not on, we can relay those messages and get answers and things like that as well as needed. So I don't have any questions currently in here, but thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come and help us, and a few other things I guess I can thank you for too aside. So I appreciate it.
I just share one more thing. Now you know why Cameron talks as fast as he does. It's genetic. So there you go. Thanks. Good help.
I'll take it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I'm just gonna get my screen back up real quick here. Okay. All right. Well, hey, thank you so much again, Carl, for taking the time to come and talk with us today. I'm going to turn the time over to John, and he's got a few things he'd like to go through here. And can you see my screen okay, John? Am I sharing it right?
Yep, I can see it. I'm good.
Fantastic. I'll let you take it up from here.
Okay. Well, first of all, thanks. I want to extend my thank yous to the Clarks, both Cameron and Carl, for this morning's topic and presentation. So That's a pretty cool father-son dynamic duo. Hopefully we hear more from Carl and future Start with Safeties. But anyway, good morning. Welcome to Monday. Just a quick Utah Safety Council update. We are in the middle of a big Salesforce systems update here at the Safety Council. The council's 80 years old, and I think our database and our systems are about that old. So, this Salesforce upgrade is something that we've needed for a while. It's kind of a big lift for everybody here at the council. So we're working hard on it, but as we start to migrate over, all the data, the website should work better and be better. We'll be able to better track and offer a better communication when it comes to the training records. And overall, our communication will become more efficient from us. So there may be some hiccups along the way. Hopefully it's seamless to you, our members. But we're very excited, and the first phase of the implementation should be done about springtime 2022. So like all of us, we got to get through what we think will be a heavy snow winter, but once the snow melts in the spring, we should have a brand new working Salesforce systems infrastructure to better serve our membership with. So, and then the COVID update. The surge of the Delta variant in Utah still has us very concerned. We had to close down several times in 2020 because of COVID exposures and positive tests here in the office. So just for the sake of safety, we're still requiring masks, for any visitors coming into the building as they do work in the lab or any one of our live training courses in the building. So if you don't want to wear a mask or you have some sort of medical exemption, most of our classes have the ability to go virtual. So just speak to whoever you're working with, whatever program manager you're working with, the Safety Council. If you prefer to take the class virtually, we can in most cases accommodate your needs. And the last thing is the conference. That is scheduled for the 30th and 31st of March 2022. We have not made a decision as to how we're going to deliver that, whether it be like in 2021, a virtual format, or live and in person at the Expo Center in Sandy, the Mountain America Credit Union Expo Center in Sandy. Anyway, we are in talks with our board of directors, and decision will be made soon. But please mark your calendars for March 30th and 31st. The conference will happen. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be the best one ever. And it's either going to be the best one ever virtual or in person, but we'll let you know soon. Okay, that's all I had. So I'm going to bounce it back to Cameron. And hopefully you paid attention to that, because I think the grand prize will come from something that I mumbled, some question, something or other, maybe the date of the conference. So
fantastic. Thank you so much, John. Just going on, we just have quick course updates that we want to run everybody through here. So just starting with occupational safety training program, I've got a few courses coming up this week. We've got our safety training methods. That's part of the advanced safety certificate. That's going to be going from the 5th through the 8th. So there are still spots open for that course. It's a really great one just on how are we actually doing our training? How are we implementing training within our organizations? This one is probably one of the ones that get recognized most within that certificate program as just a really useful course. It's very tailored to specifically what training you are trying to implement within your organization. So if you have the time and you're on a Monday and you really don't want to be in your office for the rest of the week, okay, we can get you to that class for sure. We have fall protection for the competent person coming up on Friday the 8th. There are still spots open for that one as well. That one can be attended virtually or in person. We have our OSHA 10-hour general industry course on the 11th and 12th. So next week on Monday and Tuesday. So we do have spots open in that one. Make sure you're getting in. Use your free member benefit if you've got it. If not, we'll get you in there with member pricing. It's still a great deal. We've got a great instructor for that course, and it should be a pretty good spread of attendees. So it'll be it'll be some nice discussion in that course, and we're excited to be holding that one here. We've got our qualified signal rigger coming up on the 13th. If you had originally been considering that one, you might have seen it on the 18th. Just due to a few scheduling conflicts, we've actually rescheduled that one to the 13th. But we do have open seats. You're welcome to attend that one. We have with Mountain West OSHA, we're hosting one of their courses here. We thought it'd be interesting to kind of present this over to our membership. We've got them with public warehousing and storage. That one is going to be on the 18th. So make sure you're attending that one. If you just follow on our website, you can register it'll take you a link over to the U to register with the Mountain West OSHA there for that course. But you will be attending that one here in our facility. We have team safety on the 20th. Again, that's going to be part of your advanced safety certificate, looking at how are we encompassing all the elements within our organization and getting everyone to invest within safety here. We have our competent trenching and excavation on the 21st. We have safety leadership on the 22nd. Again, that one's pretty self-explanatory there, but kind of looking at what elements are involved within leadership positions and how we can implement safety from the top down there. And then this month, we are also holding a 30-hour general industry. So if you have any supervisors that maybe we're not going to put right through just that 10-hour, we want to put them through the 30-hour, we are hosting that one here. It's the 26th through the 29th. And then we can also deliver any of these trainings and any of the other ones that we have listed on site at your facility, virtually. We can host them privately here. So if there's training that you guys need, make sure you're reaching out to me. I'm happy to help with that in any way. As far as the occupational program, that's all I've got. So I'm going to pass it over to Kenzie, and she's gonna give you guys some updates on the emergency care program.
Great, thank you, Cameron. So we have some classes coming up. So we have our member benefit first aid CPR AED course on October 19th. And then we have the CPR AED community course on October 9th. And then the instructor course in November. So I currently have 2 spots left for that. So if you're interested in taking it, I would register very soon. You can use the workplace safety scholarship that Cameron's slide on the previous one showed for any of these courses as well. A big thing that I want to talk about is being prepared. So I think people hear emergency care program and they think paramedics and those kind of things, but really it's preparedness in your workplace and in your home. I got to go to a training the beginning of September, and we talked a lot about AED statistics. And so one of them being that 44.4% of people diagnosed with COVID-19 in Wuhan, China now has a heart problem. So the big thing is getting AEDs. You could get the certified pre-owned or a new unit. So just reach out to me. COVID has caused a lot of heart damage, so it's best to be prepared with that. That being said, I'm going to pass it over to Megan, or Cassie, because she's stepping in for Megan.
Thank you, Kenzie. I am indeed standing in for Megan today. My name is Cassie, and I'm over the computer-based training here at the Utah Safety Council. I'm just going to go over some of Megan's courses that she has coming, up and coming. This month, she has our Basic Orientation Plus course on October 12th and the 26th. And the refresher, which is hosted by me in the computer lab, is by appointment only, and Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and alternating Thursdays and Fridays. So you can contact me if you need to sign employees up for the refresher. And for the full course, you can register online on our website at utahsafetycouncil.org, or you can contact Megan. She also has a UITC course coming up on October 19th as well. And then next slide, please. As for MSHA, she has our refresher on October 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th. And October 6th through 8th, October 20th through the 22nd for our 24-hour. Every MSHA course that we're doing now is web-based. So you can sign up for that online, and Megan will send you the information in regards to how to log on to that course if you are looking to take any of the MSHA courses. If you are taking the 24-hour course and you are working at Kennecott, they do require Introduction to Work Environment tour, which is offered the following Saturday after you complete the 24-hour course. And this month, it looks like it's going to be on October 9th and October 23rd. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact our office, or you can contact Megan directly. Her information is on the slide. And it looks like I'll be turning it over to Nicole for driver safety.
Thanks, Cassie. Okay, good morning, everyone. October is an exciting month for traffic safety. In October, we're recognizing National Teen Driver Safety Week, and that's from October 17th through the 23rd. October is also Pedestrian Safety Month. October 17th through the 23rd is a week that parents should have conversations with their teens about important rules they need to follow to stay safe behind the wheel of a motor vehicle. These rules address the greatest dangers for teen drivers, which are distracted driving, drowsy driving, speeding, and the number of passengers that kids have in the car with them, alcohol, inconsistent or no seatbelt use. A couple facts about teen driver fatalities is motor vehicle crashes are the leading cause of death for teens 15 to 18 years of age in the United States. In 2019, there were 2,042 people killed in crashes involving a teen driver, of which 628 deaths were teen drivers. Parents can be the biggest influencers on teens' choices behind the wheel if they take time to talk to their teens about some of the biggest driving risks. You may not have teens at home, but just like pedestrians, we have to share the roadway with teen drivers and pedestrians every day. Be patient with them and remember that you were a teen and you had to learn to drive on the roads, and remember how scary it was in the beginning. Nowadays, our teens are dealing with a lot of aggressive drivers and a lot more traffic than ever before. NHTSA and the Department of Public Safety, Zero Fatalities, and the Utah Safety Council is trying to encourage all parents of teen drivers to follow 6 rules to help keep our teens safe on the road. I'll briefly cover these so that everyone's on the same page. So the first rule is no cell phones while driving. And it's actually stated in the traffic code that a minor under the age of 18 may not use a wireless telephone. Only exceptions are for medical emergencies, reporting a safety hazard, or requesting assistance, or reporting criminal activity, or communicating with a parent or guardian. The second rule is no speeding. A driver under the age of 21 who accumulates 70 points or more in a 3-year period may be suspended or denied for 1 month up to a year. And with the suspension come high fines as well, and your insurance is going to go up. So number 3, no drowsy driving. Number 4, no passengers. Teenagers that fall between the ages of 16 and 17 years of age should not drive with any passengers in their vehicle for the first 6 months of getting their license issued to them. I've also attached on the slide here the GDL documentation that's from the driver's license division that indicates the ages of 16 and 17 that they're not allowed to have any passengers in their vehicle except for their immediate family, like siblings. They can have siblings in the car, but no friends in the car. Studies have shown that teens with other passengers cause too many distractions, and the teens are not focused on driving. Instead, they're focused on their friends. I think number 5, I think I'm at number 5, always wear a seatbelt. The traffic code states that all persons wearing or must wear a properly adjusted and fastened seatbelt, and that's just law. And then number 6, of course, no alcohol. Again, October is also Pedestrian Safety Month, and we just wanted to remind everyone that everyone is a pedestrian at some point in the day. Whenever you are not in a vehicle, you are a pedestrian. On that note, make sure that on Saturday, October 30th, that we are all aware of teens and pedestrians and impaired drivers. This Halloween, let's make memories, not tragic nightmares. The only thing scarier than zombies and witches loose on the streets is an impaired driver. During Halloween night in 2019, there were 21 vehicle occupant and 4 pedestrians killed in drunk driving crashes. So shorter daylight hours means more driving in the darkness. The sun moving closer to the horizon means more glare in our eyes. And back to school means more bus traffic and young drivers sharing the road. These are just 3 reasons to take driver safety training now. We are currently taking reservations for defensive driving classes, and these can be done in person or virtually, or you can sign your group up for our online defensive driving courses. Let's get your drivers trained, and remember, safety starts with you. Email me at nrilk@utahsafetycouncil.org, and we can get you signed up for your next class. Now I will turn the time over to Lisa.
Thanks, Nicole. We appreciate the update. It's good to know what's going on, what we need to be aware of on our roads. We also appreciate Cameron's dad, Carl. That was really interesting, and I know that most of us need to have those hearing conservation programs. So hopefully that was a good, helpful start. So I wanted to just share a couple of things that are going on for us, for our members, and then of course I have my question, and I will go ahead and tell you all about that, and so we can everybody can get a prize. But okay, so first off was and I know Cameron and Kenzie had mentioned their specific dates, but I just want to remind everyone, with your membership, you get a free OSHA 10 course every year and a free first aid CPR and AED course every year, right? So at least depending on your membership level. And so what we try to encourage companies to do is to, take turns sending different people through, just make sure you're taking advantage of that class, not benefit, because that's why you're a member. So for OSHA coming up, we've got what Cameron mentioned, OSHA 10 for general industry is October 11th and 12th, so really soon. And then we've got another one in December. With construction, if you have a need for that OSHA 10 construction, please reach out to Cameron, as he mentioned, or you can reach out to me, or you can email safety. But we definitely, if that's a need, Cameron is great about making sure that everybody kind of gets taken care of, and a lot of our stuff is kind of as requested. So please don't be worried or be hesitant. Please just let us know, and we can help work with you on that. Okay, so first aid, CPR, and AED. I mean, if it were up to me, I would have like all employees everywhere go through this class, but it's not up to me, but it might be up to you. So just make sure at least you are taking advantage of that course, and then identifying who maybe needs that, and getting that set up. We like to share that class so that people can understand what's in there and how valuable that is. So please take advantage of that. Okay, safety management systems, strategies for business. December sooner than we kind of think, right? And it's coming up. This class, it's one of my favorites to talk about and promote, because I think it's super relevant, and it's needed, and it can be very focused on what your specific needs are. And we just have a great instructor that does this most of the time, well, all of the time, the one I'm specifically thinking of. But this is fantastic, and it's the reason why a lot of people become or upgrade to the contributing and even the sustaining level, so that they can go to this class. They can send some others every year. We only teach it like twice a year, I think. So just make sure you don't miss this one in in December. It's okay if you're a general member, you still can get the membership discount. We can talk about upgrading if this is something you want to do every year, but please just remember that's going on and take advantage of that. Okay. So kind of on the right is what's coming up for Start with Safety. Now, last week, our team got together and we met about Start with Safety, and Cameron had us brainstorm ideas and different things that we wanted to do for the next year. And we're really excited about some of the things that we are going to be bringing to our members next year. So make sure you're signed up for the network cybersecurity. That's next month. That is going to be a great presentation about how to kind of keep your network secure. I attended a presentation like that and I learned a lot. So I asked, I wrote down the name, but I don't have it in front of me, but I asked them if they would come to ours. And so they are going to do a Start with Safety presentation. They are actually also going to participate in our conference this year. So we look forward to that. I learned so much just from their short presentation about some great ways to keep ourselves, keep our network secure, and some different things that we haven't been doing that we probably should be doing. I've heard some of our members have even had some issues in this department, and sometimes we focus on what's in front of us and we don't always see what's kind of behind the screen, right? Or what threats are out there. So super good one, and we really look forward to this one coming up. And then in December, we're celebrating National Miners Day. And we have somebody from MSHA coming to talk, Mike Marshall. He's a great instructor, just super engaging, knows a lot, has a lot of experiences, and is interesting to listen to. So he's going to kind of talk about that. Even if you're not in the mining industry, it's really great to know and learn about what lessons they've gone through and things that they've learned. So we like to support National Miners Day. I mean, here in Utah, we're very familiar with miners, and so we want to support that and promote that, and then we want to share some of those safety lessons learned. And so Mike has agreed to come talk to us in December, so please don't hesitate. Make sure you get signed up for that one. And then we are excited to share with you, we'll share with you next month kind of what our plans will be for the next year. So we look forward to that, but we do plan on continuing Start with Safety. So that's kind of what's coming up. If you want to go to the next slide, like John mentioned before, we are going to have our safety conference and expo, and it's going to be great. It's going to be, even if it's virtual, it's going to be awesome. And if it's in person, it will be great as well. But what we're mostly focused on as our team is getting like the best content ever, right? So we've been really working hard on getting some excellent presenters and some good topics that are relevant. And kind of just saying, hey, come join us. We hope it would be in person, but it might not be. But either way, the information that you have to share is important. And so it's going to be great, however it works out, but just make sure you have those dates on your calendars. The other thing I wanted to mention that's kind of coming up is our Women in Safety stuff. So Women in Safety is our Women in Safety group. We get together, we try to do 6 events a year. We support each other, we help each other, and just kind of try to be resources for each other. Every year we do an award, a WISH award, Women in Safety and Health. And we had just closed those nominations the last day of September. So on Friday, I got to go through and look at everybody and see that all those nominations that they came in, they were amazing and great. And so we're going to pick a winner out of those and have an event on December 15th at 11:30. So watch for that. The sooner one though is coming up here shortly on October 20th. We've been going back and forth. We want to be in person so bad. It hurts almost, you know, we want to be together, but we understand that safety is the most important, and we need to take care of each other as a team and be a good community. So that one might be virtual, but there should be some more details coming out about that shortly, and I will include that in your Start with Safety wrap-up email as well. We also have our safety notes coming out this week. Tomorrow or the next day, you should see that come out. And we've got tons of great resources. We have an instructor who wrote an article this time, upcoming dates, just some really good information coming out. So please check that out when you see that come through on your email this week. Okay. Okay, so I think that's all that was on my list. Oh, wait, no, we were gonna do a prize. Okay, so again, we just want to say that we appreciate those of you that participate. Oh, I was gonna skip all this. I can skip all this. I'll put it in the notes, right? It's just some information about the driving resources and follow-up, which I've shared it before. So I will put some links in the notes. I'm just excited to give away some prizes. Okay, so what we're going to kind of do, just to kind of keep things secure, we're going to do it a little bit old school, but all you need to do is pull up your email and you're going to send something to safety@utahsafetycouncil.org. Go ahead and put SWS for Start with Safety in the subject line. And again, that's safety@utahsafetycouncil.org, and you put SWS in the subject line. You are going to put, let's see, so the question is, what is something that you should include in your hearing conservation program? So it can just be a one-word answer, whatever you want, but just that's the question. Tell me something that needs to be included in the hearing conservation program. It can be short and sweet. And then I know I said one question, but I would like you to also indicate either a t-shirt size or if you prefer a tumbler. And if you really want to increase your chances of winning the gift card, you can also put maybe some Start with Safety feedback on there. Just it's great, or you need to update your slides, guys. We're tired of looking the same thing, whatever you want. You don't have to. It's not going to increase your chances. I'm just going to do a little random drawing from those that I receive, but we'd love to hear a little bit about what you think, or what would be helpful to you, what would help you tune in and make it more beneficial. So we'd love to hear that. Not required. So anyway, I will look forward to seeing your emails again at safety@utahsafetycouncil.org. Everybody that submits a response will get a prize, and then I will do kind of a drawing, a random. We'll use the little randomizer, and we'll give somebody a $50 gift card for participating and stay until the end. So again, thank you to Cameron's dad, and we appreciate everybody tuning in, and we look forward to chatting with you next month. So we'll see you then.